All right, welcome to episode 2 of the shop makeover. If you watched my last video, you know that my shop is a wreck. It's an absolute mess up here in Maine. I don't get a lot of opportunity to use it in the wintertime. Hopefully next winter is going to change. I'm going to have some heat in here. Let me show you what we've done to spruce up the place. Hopefully the GoPro footage is a little better this time. I changed some settings so I'm not getting the black line that I had the last time. Okay, I had a tractor over here and a bunch of crap, and this is what we're left with, okay? All right, now the plans. So, this side over here, this is the garage door, you're gonna come in. This whole side right here, which is about 14 feet, is gonna be cabinets. At least 12 feet of it. And it's 14 feet from about 2 feet off the wall back there up to this doorway. So this is going to be all cabinets. We're about to build those, so keep watching the video. There's a picture of my daughter. I know that's a little creepy in a garage. This propane heater, I used that last winter. It didn't really produce the heat I wanted, and because it's propane, it gave me a little bit too much moisture. All right, a little better look at my outfeed table. This is all going in the trash. These are cabinets from Lowe's. They did the trick, but you know, I want something a little bit better. The reason that I didn't tear these out now is because I'm gonna need a place, an assembly table, if you will, to assemble the cabinets for that wall over there. Back here, I've just got one cabinet that I started to build, kind of mock-up, and I'm using that for, you know, kind of placing some stuff, and here's some leveling feet. I make such a habit of destroying my assembly table that I decided to kind of put this over in the corner so that I can destroy this with glue and paint and sanders and you know, whatever. I'm gonna do that there. This freezer will be going away hopefully pretty soon, as well as this tall set of plastic shelves. We have a room back there that's unfinished. I'll probably put that in there. Oil tank, a couple of things that need to go out back in my other shed. Pressure washer I didn't want to freeze. We got some coats, some boots. That's pretty much it. So, a couple of the things I'm getting rid of that I tried. This Harbor Freight, what is that? Central Machinery portable dust collector. It collects dust because it doesn't frickin' work, and I never use it, so yeah, it collects dust all right. But one thing that I do use from Harbor Freight, and I love it, is this Fortress air compressor. Bought the air compressor at Harbor Freight. Goes up to 175 PSI. It's pretty quiet. It says it's the quietest in the business. I doubt that, but that works pretty well. And I hooked that to a hose reel that I got from Lowe's. So I can, if I'm doing brad nailing or something like that, I can hook that up. Right now I have a blow nozzle hooked up to it so that I can, you know, blow dust around. That's what we're good at. All right, so here's a little better look. Pretty much all of this is gonna change, and I want you to be part of it. I want you guys to see the transformation that this is gonna turn into. So, without further ado, let's get set up to start building some cabinets. All right, stay tuned. All right, so I'm gonna build my cabinets a little bit unconventional. I have a 1 3/4 inch cement lip around my garage that I'm gonna need to get up over. And this is gonna be a miter saw station, so I have one of those DeWalt big sliding miter saws, so I'm gonna need to go a little extra deep. So what I'm gonna do is go 31 inches deep. That's gonna give me 32 3/4 to the wall. and allow me to put my chop saw in there, right? And then when I put my drawers in, because I'm going to do this all drawers, I'm not going to do any doors, any cabinets. I'm going to do all drawers. When I put those drawers in, I'm probably only going to go with 21 or 24 inch drawer slides, and that's going to allow me to hide some dust collection in behind the drawers. That's going to give me quite a big gap to hide some dust collection pipe. So that's my plan as it stands right now. So my cabinets are going to be 35.5 inches tall without the top and 31 inches deep. So let me measure out. $35.5 inches. Now I'm just loosely gonna draw all the lines and see if I can get everything to match so that I can have some cut off extras to use as my stringers or my support pieces. So there's 35.5. I said I'm coming over 31 inches, so I'm gonna make them 31 inches deep. Okay, that's roughly, and these are not my cut lines. This is just me kind of laying it out. I'm a very visual person. I'm going to give that about the thickness of this speed square to account for my blade. Another 31 inches right there. And another 31. Ooh, let me burn a little bit for the blade here. All right, another 31. Okay, so like I said, these are not my cut lines. These are just, you know, am I gonna be able to get what I want out of this? How much extra am I gonna have for stringers and whatever else. A lot of people use SketchUp for this, or they, you know, draw it out on a piece of paper and they get a cut list and this and that. That has burned me a couple of times. I'm not good enough to, you know, lay it out on a piece of paper and know exactly what I need to cut. So I like to do it this way because you never know. I might be able to get more out of it if I went the other way. So that's what that's the way I do it, and that's the way we're going to do this one. So I can certainly get 3 pieces, 3 cabinet sides out of this 8-foot piece of 3/4 inch oak plywood. I should be able to get at least, well, a little over a foot, but that gives me some cut lines, some curve. So I should be able to get 3 or 4, depending on how wide I cut them, support pieces to tie this all together. All right, so my plan is to go 6 feet of cabinet, my chop saw, and then 4 feet of cabinet after that. So each one of these is going to be spaced 2 feet apart. So I'm going to need 1 more sheet of plywood to cut 1 more piece out of for at least that one. And then I'll get the other 2 for the 4-foot section. And then I'll need actually 1 other one after that. So, you know, that is what that is. So I don't have a track saw yet. Hopefully I'll be buying a Craig track saw this week and see how that works. So what I'm using right now is this clamp-on straight edge from Bora, got it at Lowe's. It works really well for cutting down sheet goods. I do leave a little bit extra so I can clean it up with the table saw, of course. And then I have a 4-foot version, so I don't ever have to break this apart. It does a really good job. Doesn't deflect a whole lot in the middle, but it does a little bit if I'm really, you know, pushing on it. So let's go ahead and get this end cut off, or the side. Let's get the side cut off. Grab me some safety glasses. Got to get the safety glasses. All right, whenever I'm cutting like this, I like to hang the motor over whatever my straight edge is. Okay, it's the way I've always been taught. Make sure that the motor doesn't touch. And here we go. I'll set this piece aside for later. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I probably won't even have to clean that up on the table saw later. So now I want to figure out and cut my 31s. Okay. For this one, I'm using also a Bora from Lowe's, straight edge. It's just a shorter one. This one clamps in a ton better than the other one does. So I feel a little more confident about that cut. Now what I'm doing, you see this line here, I have to give room for my the plate on my skill saw. So that is why you see that little bit of extra gap. Safety glasses. Don't want to hear about that in the comments, do I? All right, here we go.
You say you don't wanna get in trouble, that you're doing fine cause you got me. I don't wanna break your little bubble, but you gotta wake up to reality. Cause I can see in your eyes, your head is full of dreams. Tears are a proof of failure, you just gotta let them flow without judge. There's so many ways to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You just gotta trust the right. Don't have to be scary. You just gotta follow the light. You're able to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You don't have to be. I see you hesitating while you're waiting, like somebody's gonna give it to you. You gotta chase it, gotta believe it. You gotta go get it for yourself. Cause I can see in your eyes, your head is.
Now that we got our cabinets cut out, we can cut out the supports or the stringers. For that, we're gonna use that top piece that we cut off of the plywood. It's just about a foot wide, it's 8 feet long. So our first set of cabinets are gonna be 6 feet. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this right off at 6 feet so that I don't have to try and push 8 feet through the table saw. This is the exact reason I'm doing this. This would be nice to set up a stop block, you know, and cut a few different pieces, all the same. And here we go. Well, I guess we had an Oreo failure. So here I am, just, you know, I cut them down to length and I'm gonna cut the width on the table saw. I went with 4 inches so I could get 3 stringers out of each piece. God, look at me go. I'm like a pro. One thing I hate is that gripper thing. It just, it doesn't grab the end, so you really have to kind of push kind of hard. I wish it had a little stop on the end. I think the new ones may actually have that. And then here I'm cutting out the slots for the stringers. I'm going to cut this into all of the cabinet pieces. There's the toe kick. How am I going to assemble these cabinets? Well, what I like to use are these little squeeze clamps, little Irwin squeeze clamps. A bunch of people make them. And I put it in one of the slots, squeeze it down, and allow the panel to stand upright, okay? Just the way I do it, seems to work pretty good. So I'm gonna do the outside two first. You'll be able to see this end, probably not the other end. Really doesn't matter where you start. I just like to be able to get as many of the joints as I can without having to flip the box. Okay, that's going to be pretty close. Okay. So let's do the toe kick first. Now this toe kick is the one that if you were laying on the floor you would see it straight up. So I am going to use screws on this one. You'll see that I use brads and glue on the face piece of the toe kick that you can actually see. God, who put that pole in the way? Anyway, here I am measuring a couple of different ways. Just want to make sure that the inside panels actually land where they're supposed to, and that my middle section is the same width. I've been kind of burned on this before, where I think I have it in the right spot, and then one of them is off by 3/4 of an inch, potentially. Those screwed in, do some more measuring, some more screwing, and here's a better view. Now the one thing, I do need to get a bandsaw. I don't like the way the jigsaw cuts out the slots. I think it's a cheap jigsaw and the blade just kind of wanders a little bit, but you can see here it did a pretty good job. This back support, I like to have a support on the bottom, and then the top one rides on top of that. So it's going to give my top a little more support. And the front one, same thing. Look at that dog move, huh? It's a feisty little thing. He also doesn't know why I'm talking to myself. Alright, measure for square. Now here I have to cut down the actual toe kick. I'm gonna get, ooh, look at that nice hose. Comes off of that nice compressor. Alright. Glue and brad nails. Well, thanks for watching this video. This is the first in a 2 or 3 part series for building the cabinets along this wall. Like, subscribe, follow this channel. Just, you know, see what we got going on, see what's going to be new, and see what we do with this garage space. Hopefully, the next video I can get rid of this big workbench in the middle and have a lot more room. So, all right, stay tuned.